beautifuls, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to Seduce Me 2. We are back here in this lovely room with Damien, and we found out he's never had a room growing up, which is kinda depressing. And my heart suddenly crumbled in my chest. I knew that Damien was the mistreated bastard son of the demon lord, but to not have a room? That was almost cruel. I couldn't help imagining Damien sleeping on the cold marble floor of the grand hall or even in his cell. My soul began to weep for him, but I knew that it was just better to ask him about his experience and assume the absolute worst cases. How did you sleep then?
Well, demons don't sleep at all, actually.
That made absolutely no sense. Wait, what? They don't? Why do you have beds and stuff then? Damien blushed a bit with a grimace across his lips.
Well, other than having, sex, demons rest. Like lying down and reading or something like that, but demons never close their eyes for long. It opens them up to being taken advantage of.
That's kinda sad. Then, how the heck do demons function?
With energy and food. As long as a demon has both, or at least one or the other, they can keep functioning without needing to sleep. Lying down simply lets them stop using their energy.
Then, what about in the human world? Were you and the others pretending to sleep? Damien shook his head, driving another confused wedge into my brain. What? Demons could sleep then? But only if they wanted to? But they absolutely didn't need to, so they didn't have to? Damien laughed a bit at my confusion.
When we went to the human world, we got to experience sleep for the first time. It was so good for us, and we felt relaxed, so we kept at it, like regular humans.
Aww.
Besides, the risks we had here are not the same as the risks in the human world.
Yeah, so they will be able to sleep more in the human world because there's nothing really attacking them there. There was still a lot I had to learn about demons, apparently. Not that I needed to know, but my curiosity about them grew the more I learned about them. Damien smiled and walked over to sit beside me and kiss my cheek.
I think we'll be safe to sleep, though. This is Lilith Castle, after all.
Lilith Castle? This place has a name? With a nod, Damien pointed over at the mantle, tracing through the air at the markings in the stonework.
If I remember right, James told me about the first succubus, Lilith, and how she gave birth to incubi and succubi from this very castle. Diana is her descendant, so she now owns this place.
Wow. So Diana really was a princess. I was a bit surprised to confirm that fact, but in the end it made sense. She had the attitude of one, that was for sure. Damien wrapped an arm around my shoulders and smiled.
At least we'll get some good sleep tonight.
Yeah. I could feel that we would be okay in our room. The castle was well fortified from what I knew, and Diana seemed to be on top of making sure everything ran smoothly, as did the other rebel leaders. Everything was like a well-oiled machine. I leaned my head on Damien's shoulder, letting out a small sigh. I'm sorry.
Huh? For what?
I looked up at Damien, remembering that I had been gone an entire day. I must have worried him sick and made everyone else go crazy at my absence, not only from the wedding but the entire human world. For going missing, I was gone for a whole day. Damien stared at me for a moment before smiling and kissing my forehead.
Were you really here a whole day?
I furrowed my eyebrows, staring at him and trying to figure out if he was joking or being serious. Seeing my expression, Damien let out a small laugh and hugged me to his side.
To me, you were only gone for about 4 or 5 hours.
Wait, what? That could not be. There was no way that I was gone for that short period of time. I remember sleeping in this room, going through an entire day being in this world, and trying to get home to him twice. That definitely did not add up. With a small smirk, Damien released me and placed his hand on my head.
Time runs differently between the human and demon world. A whole day here is about 5 hours in the human world. You weren't gone very long.
Oh, so you didn't miss me. My jaw dropped. Even time was different here. This world was full of surprises. I felt myself hold my cheeks and try to take it in. How did everyone react? Damien frowned a bit and gently wrapped his arms around me, hugging me fully to him and resting his head on mine.
We were all worried sick about you.
Damien, I can only imagine what Damien went through in those 5 hours when I didn't arrive. What was the first thing he said? What was the first thing anyone did. I felt guilty, but I also knew that what had happened was out of my hands. Damien let out a small sigh and kissed my head.
When you didn't show up, we sent the girls to find you while my brothers managed to wipe everyone's memories and delay the wedding for a couple of days. We didn't know how fast it would take us to find you.
Damien's grip tightened around me as he pulled me even closer.
I had to rely on my brothers to find you. There was no clue where you were taken, so I had to sit and wait until they managed to locate you, here. Then we came.
Aww, poor Damien. He probably felt like extremely useless. Then you came. Embraced Damien, lying in his arms. We're embracing the hell out of this guy. I was stunned by the love I was given by Damien. Despite being human, he traveled through the gates of worlds to try to find me, and I was lucky to have a loving man like him. My only regret was being in this world instead of the altar at the altar with him. I wrapped my arms around Damien and pressed my forehead to his shoulder, closing my eyes and taking in his scent and love. Eventually, Damien pulled away and stared down at me with a tired smile.
We should get some rest. There's a long week ahead of us.
I nodded in agreement, knowing exactly what he meant. We slowly crawled into bed and snuggled into each other's arms, embracing the darkness of slumber once more. As sleep welcomed me, a thought ran through my mind. What would happen? Obviously, the boys would fight in the war, but what about Damien? He was indeed human and had no abilities to use as such. Then again, maybe he could still use magic as a human. Carrie was able to do so, and she was human, but she was a witch, trained in magic. Damien's abilities came with his demon side, which he no longer had. How would he fight then? The question floated around in my mind in my dream as I drifted to a calm, peaceful sleep. That sucks.
Why can't I sleep?
Huh? Damien?
Something's wrong.
What's wrong?
Something is indeed wrong, boy. You're in the demon world, and you won't even acknowledge your demon side.
Diana?
Huh? What are you doing here?
Observing a disappointment for amusement. You keep continuing to fail at living so much that it's become a wonderful form of entertainment. The demon who lost his powers. Doesn't that sound absolutely ridiculous? Let's replace it with the demon whose wife almost became the demon lord's next bed bitch.
What? I had to read that for myself.
What do you want?
Oh, come now, don't be so hostile. You'll wake the human up.
Who's talking? Is it not Diana?
She and I are both human.
I cannot believe it. Is that what you still think, boy? Do you truly believe yourself to be human?
Yes. No matter how many times you taunt me, I know the truth. I am human.
Well, I hate to break the delusion you may be under, but you should know that becoming a human is impossible for a demon.
That's not true. I've been a human for over 2 years now. I don't believe you.
Then you are more of a disappointment than I imagined. God, why don't you just give up? Then again, if you gave up, then I would lose my entertainment.
Who is this?
Leave.
Fine, fine, I shall. But heed my words, boy. Tomorrow will be a very rough awakening for you. I can feel it.
It's Diana, right? The morning rose with me stretching and yawning to sleep out of my body. I surprisingly had a peaceful night, but apparently Damien didn't, as he wasn't in bed with me. I looked to the side to see him not under the sheets with me, but standing by the fireplace, staring into the flames with bags under his eyes. I slowly rose from the bed and covered my mouth as another yawn escaped me. Damien? At the sound of my voice, Damien looked over, eyes glazed over in exhaustion. I could tell that something had kept him up, so I slid my legs off of the bed and walked over to him, wrapping my arms around him. What's wrong? I looked up at his violet and blue eyes, trying to find an answer within them, despite it being impossible. Whatever it was that kept him up, I wanted to know and try to help. Still, Damien remained silent. His arms, however, wrapped themselves around my form and gently pulled me against his body, leaning his forehead against mine. With a soft, tired sigh, Damien closed his eyes and gave me a small squeeze.
Did you sleep well?
I nodded, but remained concerned. If something was wrong, I wanted to know and try to help him get over it. Still, Damien said nothing and just smiled at me.
Good. That's good.
Oh my gosh, you sound so tired. What about you? I needed to know what was wrong. Something about Damien didn't seem to be okay, and I wanted to see what I could do. Damien simply stared down at me, exhaustion plaguing his eyes, before shaking his head.
Nothing's wrong. At least, I don't think so.
Then why do you look so tired? Damien pressed his lips together and looked down at the space between us, almost in shame. What was he hiding?
I didn't sleep much last night. Sorry.
I furrowed my eyebrows and cupped his cheeks. He was warm, probably from sitting in front of the fire for a long while. Still, I was now worried for Damien. Maybe I should head back to bed and try to catch some sleep. Damien opened his mouth to speak, but was interrupted by the sound of a pounding fist at our door.
Oi! Got some food. Let us in.
Rise and shine.
Damien and I stared at the door before holding hands and circling around the bed to sit on the edges of it. As it settled onto the mattress, Damien called out, masking his exhaustion.
Come in.
The door opened to reveal the other incubi and their wives, who began to slowly fall in each with a plate of food in their hands. Carrie and Sam, however, had 2 each and passed us their plates.
There you go.
Thanks, Carrie.
There you go, bro.
Thank you, Sam.
Here you go, bro. Here you go. Don't care. The group settled into the room, making themselves comfy whether they were standing or sitting on the bench. As I looked down at the plate in my hands, I took note of the food on it. Jerky, cheese, fruit, and bread. Simple. I began to chow down on the fruit as James cleared his throat.
So, we need to discuss training.
Sam and Matthew let out a simultaneously groan. Yeah. Obviously not in the mood to get into the conversation. James wanted to start up.
Do we have to? Can't we wait until after breakfast?
As much as I would agree, we are strapped for time. We need to settle a plan, and soon.
We train like we used to do. Go and kick the bastard's ass, then we go home. Done.
Sam began to stuff his face, finished saying his piece as James pinched the bridge of his nose and let out a sigh of irritation. Carrie grabbed Sam's shoulder and shook it slightly, making him look up at her.
As awesome as you are, I don't think that'll be enough.
Indeed. We may be 5 strong, but we'd still be going up against the man who has always been stronger than all of us combined. We need to think logically about this.
Well, not to bring up the elephant in the room, but aren't you guys kind of downy, brother? At least demon-wise?
Everyone looked over at Norin? I hope I'm saying it correctly. Sorry, taking in what she had said. She was right. Damien was human now and couldn't train like a demon, right? Damien looked down at his plate again and began to eat in silence. What was wrong? Oh, it's like a sad puppy. And we don't know what to do because the puppy can't talk. Except Damien could talk. The others continued to chat, ignoring me and Damien.
While Damien may be human now, he can still fight.
Any human can fight, really, if you piss them off enough. I think Damien's got more of a reason to be pissed off than anyone else.
Yeah, all 5 of us can kick his ass. 4 demons in a human style.
Well, not exactly.
At that moment, everyone turned their heads to see Diane at the door. To my surprise, her expression was a very guilt-driven and regretful demeanor. Something in my gut began to churn. What did Diana mean? What did she have in mind?
Not exactly?
You're not exactly down, a brother. At least not in the sense you are insinuating.
Diana stepped further into the room, placing her hands together by her stomach and looking at Damien, who simply looked back at her with tired but stern eyes.
What do you mean?
The room began to fill with a tense aura, making it clear that Diana was going to drop some sort of bombshell on us. In a fit of discomfort, Sam rolled his shoulders and practically spat out at Diana.
Well, out with it.
With a heavy and low breath, Diana looked into Damien's piercing gaze, no longer able to hide what secret she was keeping.
Damien, can you read my mind right now?
Silence once again trickled into the air. I looked at Damien, now very confused and concerned. Did he still have his mind-reading abilities? I thought she turned him human. He wasn't a demon anymore, right? Damien kept his gaze locked on Diana, concentrating on her. Eerily, slowly, his eyes began to widen with a fearful dread. Was he able to read her mind after all? The next second became blurred as Damien pounced off of the bed and charged at Diana, slamming her into the wall by her neck.
You lied to me!
Damien!
Hey!
You swore that I would be human!
Oh jeez. I instantly stood lost in a state of shock from seeing Damien lock Diana in a fist chokehold, pressing her hard against the stone wall behind her. Naturally, Diana gripped Damien's wrist, trying to pry it off of her.
Why can't I read your thoughts?
Desperate for air, Diana lifted her leg up and kicked Damien off of her, vaulting him back to slam into Sam and Carrie. Diana buckled to the ground, coughing wildly, as Sam managed to catch Damien and keep them both upright as Carrie held onto the bench to keep from falling back. Damien! I instantly rushed over to Damien, pulling him from Sam's hold and wrapping my arms around him. He was shaking, and I caught sight of tears running down his cheeks, as if he was trying to disbelieve what was happening.
What did you do to him?
Diana lifted her head and grasped her neck. However, her expression wasn't one of rage, but still of deep regret. She knew that this would happen, and this was a deserved punishment. She expected this.
I never turned you human. I only drained you of your energy through a ritual. It was supposed to completely wipe out any need for energy, making you human. But you've never been completely transformed.
Damien attempted to lunge at Diana again, causing me to instinctively grip onto him and keep him back. None of this made sense. If he was still a demon, then eventually he would have needed energy, yet there was no point where he drained it from me. But Damien never felt like a demon. We've been practically magic-free for 2 years. That doesn't make sense.
I've had no magic, no mind reading for 2 years. I never felt the need to feed or drain any energy the entire time. How is this possible?
You're in the demon world. This world is full of magic, strong enough to rekindle your abilities. The human world is too pure to give your body the power it needed to convert back to your demon state.
Oh. This entire situation became a myriad of confusion. Damien never became human? Diana didn't fulfill her end of the deal? What was going on? Damien eventually slumped into my arms, his adrenaline completely drained as he took in the truth of what had become of him. At the same time, the situation hit me as well. Damien was still demon. Unconsciously so, but still unchanged. A part of me was relieved, while the other part of me felt incredibly sorry for him.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Damien looked up at Diana, eyes full of tired rage. Diana stared back, flinching at the sight. I could feel the anger revolving around Damien's body as I held him close to me, which in turn almost frightened me.
You'll never be sorry for anything. The Princess of Lilith is too prideful to give a damn about anyone but herself, and it's always been that way.
I could hear the venom snaking into his words as he struck them at the succubus. However, there was also deep pain and hurt. Who wouldn't be? He had been living a lie, and the reality of the truth was crashing down around him.
Was it funny? Tricking me into believing you? Oh, it must have been. Because you fooled me for the past 2 years and managed to get away with my energy. You always get what you want, don't you?
Oh, Damien, calm down. I know you're very shocked right now, but that's enough, Damien? Oh, well, I did say in real life. Alright, I gotta go with it. He was right. This was unfair, but Diana did what was the closest thing to making him human. She didn't expect him to come back to the demon world and rekindle his powers. So, in a way, she did give him what he wanted. Diana slowly stood and rubbed her neck. Some tears running down her face, but her expression contorted to one of cool hatred.
Well, the joke's on me then. I returned to see my kingdom in flames and my family gruesomely slaughtered. So I guess I didn't get what I wanted either.
That caused silence to engulf the room. The news formed a dark pit in my stomach, forcing me to imagine such a scene and shake it out of my thoughts furiously. Damien didn't speak. Instead, he moved and sat down in the bed, his head in his hands as he curled over his knees. I followed, wrapping my arms around him comfortingly. Damien's brothers, however, each took a step towards Diana.
Give Damien his energy back.
Impossible.
Like hell it is! If he's still a demon, he needs his energy to fight.
I've spent the last 10 years fighting the Demon Lord with both of their energies. I'm not as powerful as I was then, so I no longer have the ability to give him anything without risking my life.
That's where we're gonna stop. You guys are probably hating me for this, but that's gonna be it for today's episode. It's getting quite interesting, actually. Really interesting. So, Damien actually got his powers. He's not fully human. What are we gonna do now? I don't know. So is he gonna be a demon when we come back home then? Because then by the time we're here, he's gonna slowly get all his powers back. I'm assuming so, or that's what I'm guessing. But that's gonna be it for today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Stay beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.